Hi guys, welcome to today's literacy lesson. As today's starter, I've got a paragraph on the board. This is a bit of text from our read lesson on Monday. I'd like you to have a little look as there are some mistakes in this paragraph. Can you spot the mistakes? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes now, maybe pause the video and see if you can spot the mistakes. Right, I'm going to show you the mistakes and you can see how many you managed to spot. So of course, Edith needs to be a capital letter because it's the name of somebody. Aged was spelt incorrectly. We had a couple of small i's and we're writing an I, we need to make sure it's a capital. Work was spelt incorrectly and also so was young. Okay, so I wonder how many mistakes you managed to spot and change. Okay, this is kind of, it kind of shows us that when we write our work, it's really important for us to go back and check for any errors. That's really important. So for today's lesson, you're going to be writing a personal diary entry to get a bit of a practice at writing a diary and using the correct features. Okay, so to be successful in today's lesson, you're going to be writing in first person, past tense, you're going to be using time connectives and also emotive language. So let's discuss a couple of things before we start. First of all, because I suppose this is the first lesson really that we're starting to look at diaries. Yesterday's read text was a diary. So, let's kind of discuss all of these questions and get a bit of practice and a bit of understanding about what a diary actually is. So what is a diary? A diary is a book in which one keeps a daily record of events and experiences. So maybe you have kept a diary at home before. I know when I was at school, I used to keep a diary and I used to write everything that happened down. Okay, so it's a personal book that you write your experiences, your thoughts, your feelings in. Why do people write diaries? Why do you think people would write a diary? Have a little think. You might write a diary as kind of, a secret companion and a place where you can be honest with yourself. By writing it in a diary, I suppose you're kind of treating it like a friend because you're telling it your thoughts and your secrets. Okay, so it's a place where you can go, you can write down your thoughts, your secrets, and, you can then read them back, I suppose, can't you? And the last one, can you think of any examples of a diary? Have a little think and see if you can come up with any examples of a diary. I've got a couple in my head. We all looked at one yesterday for starters, so that should be one example. Here are some examples that you might have maybe thought of. So of course, our text from yesterday would be an example of a diary entry. So this is Edith's diary. Another diary you might be familiar with is the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which has books, and I know it's a film as well. So that's another example of a diary entry. I wonder if you thought of any more. And maybe you managed to think of some of your own examples, some other examples of a diary entry. Great. So now we're going to look at the features of a diary entry. So that means we're going to look at all the things we should include when we write in a diary entry. Past tense. So our diary entry has to be in past tense because we're writing about the things that have already happened. Sometimes though, we might write about things that we're looking forward to, but the majority of our writing is going to be in past tense. Chronological order. Now that means writing in the order that things happened in. Okay, so starting, first I woke up, then I did this, writing in the order that things happened in, writing in the order of your day. And also I've put in blue time connectives. Time connectives are a really important part of writing diaries. That gives us a little hint of when things happened, first, next, then, in the morning, okay? colloquial language. This means informal and chatty language. Often in diaries, it's not a really formal piece of writing. We're not writing a really formal letter. Diaries are just for us. So actually, it's quite common to use slang and chatty language in diaries because essentially we're only reading it. Nobody else is going to read your diary, or they shouldn't. First person, so we're writing using the words I, we, as again, it's in our perspective, it's what happened to us. Detailed descriptions. It's quite useful in your diary to include detailed descriptions. And I really wanted to have a go at that this week using the adjectives, maybe even some figurative language that we looked at last week as well. And our last one is self-reflections. So often in diaries, we have thoughts, feelings, opinions. These are often used to reflect how you're feeling and often just to get out your emotions by writing. So those are all the features of a diary that we're going to try and include throughout the week. Okay, so take a little look at this. Maybe it might be an idea to write them down so you can look back at them over the week and try to use them. So time connectives, I just wanted to touch on this just quickly because this really helps us write in chronological order. So let's have a think of what time connectives we can use. So I'm going to give you an example of a time connective you might have first. Another time connective could be next and then. We would use these time connectives to help us understand when something has happened. Okay, so we could say first, I woke up and brushed my teeth. Okay, so it gives us that extra bit of information and helps us connect to the sentence and gives us an idea of when it happened. So maybe pause the video here and see if you can think of any more time connectives. Let's have a look at some more examples of time connectives. Maybe you could see if your ones that you thought of are on here too. So these are all the time connectives you can have. So during, finally, later, yesterday, next, after that, then, secondly. So maybe, again, you could maybe jot some of these down because throughout the week, you could be using some of these time connectives in your diary. Okay, so pause the video, write a couple down for you to use throughout the week. Now, before you write your own diary, I thought it would be quite useful for me to show you one of my diary entries so you could see how I've written it and also how I've included the features. So I'm going to read you one of my extracts from my diary. And as I'm reading it to you, you're going to see what features I've used. Okay, and then it will help you to write your diary in a minute. So this is the 16th. So I put the date up here, as you can see, because often in diaries, we write the date that, the entry was written in. So I'm going to read it to you. Dear diary, today was a quiet and relaxing day. I woke up at 9 o'clock. I love having lions. And ate blueberry pancakes with maple syrup for breakfast and drank a caramel latte. After eating my delicious breakfast, I did some yoga with my sister, which was very calming. I was feeling a bit bored and restless, so I decided to go for a long walk around the park to get some fresh air. My smartwatch said I had done 5,000 steps. In the afternoon, I video chatted my family to see how they were doing. This made me feel warm and comforted as I really missed them. In the evening, I got in my pajamas and fluffy socks and watched The Greatest Showman with popcorn and sweets. In my opinion, this is a great movie as I love all the singing and enjoyed singing along to it, even though my sister tells me to be quiet. It's getting late. That's all for now, Miss Benja. So, can you have a think of what features I have used in my diary? So if we start with time connectives, as I know we were kind of speaking about that anyway, today would be a time connective, tells us, that it's happening today. After, in the afternoon, in the evening. Okay, these are all examples of time connectives as they tell us a specific time that something's happening. I've used opinions. So for example here, in my opinion, I've used chatty language and informal language. I've put this here in brackets, even though my sister tells me to be quiet, as it's kind of like a thought. Okay, something that doesn't really need to be in there, but I've put it in there anyway, as it's kind of a bit cheeky, it's a bit funny. And also, I have used past tense. So if we take a look at some of my verbs, ate, drank. Even here, I was feeling a bit bored. Okay, that's also in the past tense. Another feature that I have used is writing in first person. So I. Okay, so I've put lots of I's in there to show it's first person. I've also used some detailed description. I've used delicious. I've put some adjectives here, bored, restless, warm, comforted. Okay, so I've put some description in there. And also, my diary entry is written in chronological order. So it's written in the order that it happened in. So start with me getting up, going through my day, and then going to bed. Okay, so that is my diary entry today. So today you're going to write your personal diary entry about your day or an event. You can write about today, what happens in your day, or you can write about a special event, maybe your birthday, maybe when you went on a holiday. Okay, it's completely up to you, whatever you find easiest. Please try and include the features of a diary. I know it's kind of our first time together writing a diary. That's why you're kind of writing it about what you like first to practice. But try and include as many features as you can. Good luck on writing your diary entry today. And remember, try to do your most neatest, beautifulest handwriting. I'm seeing lots of children really trying so hard on their handwriting. So keep it up because it looks super. We'll see you tomorrow for another literacy lesson. Bye.